Hello, my name is David Florence, co-founder of The 8 Decisions. You're about to watch a video in which we have grabbed key takeaways from our first tribe call. And if you've been wondering what is this 8 Decisions all about, hopefully this will provide a little bit more insight. But ultimately, what we're trying to achieve here is the growth of a community of driven individuals, all of whom wanting to discover more meaning in this existence, wanting to optimize their mind and their body through various different practices from movement, breathwork, mindfulness, meditation, and also to discover whether there is more to this existence. And that's what this community and subsequent program that we're creating is all about. This program will be detailed a little bit more in today's tribe call. If you're interested in joining these tribe calls, then we hold them once a week and there will be a link below, but we will always be posting our key takeaways in this YouTube channel. Stand by also for more videos in this channel. A walking meditation will be uploaded very soon. There will be more breath work. There will be various different movement practices, ponderings and pontifications from Robert and I as we continue on this journey. Remember, Robert and I are wanting to go on a journey, a 10-year vision quest, where we've created a goal that we're working towards. We want you to join us and to create your own 10-year vision, and to learn tools, methods, practices to clear the mind of all the detritus that we tend to accumulate, to remove our bodies of toxicity so that we can achieve the ultimate goal of why we're here. So without further ado, here's the key takeaways from our first tribe call. And as mentioned, if you want to join us, there is a link below for the next one.
This is what we're doing. We're building a community, entrepreneurial minded people that want to achieve a 10-year vision together. And we do that with some awareness to these 8 decisions. Our life is a decision. How we experience our life is a decision. It's made up of different decisions. The energy to have the ability to make great decisions lies in some of these experiences. One is I have decided to optimize my energy. Number 2, I've decided to be sober. What does that mean? That means, is there some addictions that I have that I could let go of? Drugs, alcohol, my phone, porn. I don't care what it is. It's the awareness that I've decided to be sober today. I've been 7 years sober, but every single day I make the decision that I'm not drinking anymore. Today I'm not drinking. I'm not making promises or expectations of whatever happens, but it's just awareness. These are not rules that I'm asking the community to follow. These are suggestions of a different way of being. Number 3, I've decided I'm not my mind. Many of the people that I walk with that are in struggle, just like I am, have racing, crazy thoughts that is not them. It's just the awareness of being a third party, looking at those thoughts and watching them pass away. I've decided to live in the present. That is this being in love with my future vision. I can be present. I've decided to help others with their 8 decisions. That means I just talk about the 8 decisions in my day-to-day. As you start transformation, people start to see your attitudes, your energy change. Your being is just different. They're going to ask you questions and you just talk about what these 8 decisions are. That is what you do. You just help others telling your story. Number 6, I've decided to live up to my potential. That is clearly right out of the 12 regrets of the dying for me. And that's just my expression of that. And that is, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best. Number 7, I've decided that I am leader. To be a leader, we first must lead ourselves. And we will be thrust upon situations where you have to step up and be a leader. That's what I want to encourage this community to do. And number 8, I've decided to understand my purpose. And this particular one, this is what this is all about. It's a path. Some of you may be thinking right now, I don't know my purpose. It's great. A lot of people don't know their purpose. Just explore what could be open to the doors that will start opening for you. And eventually you will receive something helping you decide what that purpose is. We have core values here, and I want to put the core values front and center for the entire organization that or people that are involved in this to understand. We are genuine curiosity about life and people. We walk the walk and we lead by example. We have the integrity. We're not half-assing it. We are humble and willing to be vulnerable, meaning I'm going to open up to you. I'm going to be raw about things I've done and mistakes I've made so that you can see yourself in my story. You can see maybe it's something that you can relate to and you can connect with, which therefore opens a door of possibility for you to share for someone else to see themselves. It's a beautiful chain reaction. But this is the thing that we are here to do, and that is dreamers with the courage to execute. Dreamers with the courage to execute. And the courage is a level of energy that's going to start to increase as we start to learn together and start making these steps forward together. I want to show you the 8 Decisions mission to build a community of authentic, driven humans creating their 10-year vision together. To build a community of authentic, driven humans creating their 10-year vision together.
So let's move on now to intermittent hypoxia. I've been practicing breathwork now for 6 years. I've become qualified in a practice called Soma Breath, and then I've furthered my knowledge and research as I've continued on this rabbit hole. Breathwork for me is a core tenet of what I teach, but it is also a core tenet of how I live my life, how I move through this life. Breathwork, if you are willing and are committed to doing it daily, will bring huge reward, especially if you harness the benefits of breath holding. And in particular, a type of breath hold, which you have now already done. If you practice that breath work at the beginning of this call, you will have now experienced, if this is your first time, intermittent hypoxia, which sounds like you shouldn't be doing it. It does sound like this is something you don't want your body and mind to go through. But just like all stressors, so when I say stressors, any kind of stress, both physical and mental or mental stress, all of it is good for us, so long as we have a period where our bodies and mind can recover, adapt, and then change. So in this instance, what we're doing with intermittent hypoxia is we are allowing our blood oxygen level that normally sits at about 90-95%. In other words, the amount of oxygen in our body sits at about 90-95% in our blood. What we do with this particular breath work is reduce it briefly to about 85%. Now, what happens is it causes, therefore, a stress. This is linked, by the way, to all the various studies that are conducted around high altitude training. So a lot of athletes, if they can't climb a mountain and do high altitude training, they could theoretically practice intermittent hypoxia and they'll get the same results. A friend of mine, AJ, who lives in New York, she's already working with I can't remember which university, and they're conducting a study right now to assess whether intermittent hypoxic training through breathwork is the equivalent of high altitude training that we're all familiar with. And the benefits of intermittent hypoxic training are the following: enhanced brain blood flow and cognitive functions, reduced dementia risk, improved neuroplasticity. I'm sure you know what that is, but to remind you, what we now understand, and when I link this to my statement earlier around cognitive health doesn't have to decline, we now know right up until the age of 90, 100, you can still connect new neurons in your brain to new neurons. You can create new neural pathways, meaning that you can still keep this growing and learning and developing. You don't have to have the assumption that, oh, crikey, I'm now 50, I'm now 60, I better get used to this not working so well. That's rubbish. As long as you exercise it, you can keep growing this brain of yours. And through intermittent hypoxia, you are exercising your mind and the neural pathways. So it also increases adaptability, it increases endurance, it increases cardiovascular health, it enhances red blood cell production, it regulates and it strengthens your immune system. This is all through intermittent hypoxia alone. So personally, when I started doing it, I within 3 months started to experience a change in my mind, and I felt like I had the capability of learning more. I felt like I had a better memory. And we've now got enough research to suggest that intermittent hypoxia improves spatial memory, for example. I also noticed that if I practiced this breath work before exercise, I was faster, I was stronger, I could run quicker. I could also run in a perfect flow right from the off. You know how when you go for a run, it normally takes a minute or two to get into the flow of running, when your body and mind finally says, okay, all right, this is what we're doing. Okay, then in which case we'll just change the oxygen levels, etc. Your body doesn't need to do that when you do this kind of breath work. So I've not tried this before a race because I don't race anymore, but I do wonder what it would be like to do this kind of breath work before a race. Perhaps, Robert, this may be our challenge for next year to practice some breath work before some endurance races, maybe. Also, I've experienced mood regulation, so improvements in my mood. Whenever I've gone through high anxiety, I've gone through periods of trauma before and suffered panic attacks. This kind of breath work has greatly helped. Lastly, perhaps as another personal anecdote, I used to suffer from exercise-related asthma, and I no longer do. I cured myself of exercise-related asthma, and I went to the doctor to have this confirmed. The doctor was very surprised, saying this shouldn't be possible. But he then handed me a letter to say, yes, Mr. Florence, you no longer need your asthma medication. So there are many wonderful things that you can do with intermittent hypoxia. It definitely creates a coherence in your mind and your body. And as I said earlier, with that 4/4 rhythm, it also creates a coherence in your autonomic nervous system.